I was up in the night recently. Quite often I am. I've been worrying about what's going on in the world. I tend to be a chronic worrywart. And I came across one of my favorite columns. Wrote I wrote this quite a few years ago, but it tends to be something that I've shared before with other people. And I really like this column. And I was trying to figure out tonight why. And I came up with three things. In it is the story of how hard work and determination helped a young woman overcome abuse. It also contains a story about a young man and how important his extended family relations and one single family reunion meant to him. And it reminded me how important family relations and having family reunions are to keep the generations connected. Grandparents, keep in touch with your grandkids. Grandkids, keep in touch with your grandparents. And then how about those special aunts and uncles, cousins, siblings? Extended family is important. And the last reason I like this column is it's about having a great day at the beach and how art can connect you to yourself and to others. So here it is. On a Sunny Mexican Beach is the name of it. On a sunny Mexican beach in a grove of coconut trees, I sat painting a clay vase. My sunburned face and chest, where I'd forgotten to apply sunscreen, had driven me to this shady activity. In the shade, not shady, illegal. That and the desire to express my artistic side. My husband and I were there celebrating our 31st wedding anniversary. My only companion at the table was a shy young man intently painting Mexico on his ceramic bowl. We were surrounded by a mixture of lounging tourists and men with shovels smoothing out drifts of sand left by a recent hurricane. It made the perfect background for easy conversation. "Where are you from?" I asked the young man. He responded, "Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania." He tossed the question back to me. I replied, "South Dakota." "South Dakota?" he said excitedly. "My grandma was from South Dakota." Surprised by his enthusiastic response, I asked, where in South Dakota?" "I'm not sure," he said, shaking his head. "Some hick town out in the Black Hills, I think." "Really? That's where I'm from," I said. "I live about 50 miles from Rapid City in the Black Hills." "Was she from Spearfish? Lead? Deadwood? Belle Fourche? How about Wall?" Now I was enthusiastic. Maybe we had a common link. No. I don't remember," he said. "But we had a family reunion there once. It was cool." He was smiling, gazing off in space, fondly remembering. Then his tone and demeanor changed. Looking down, shaking his head, he added softly, "It was the only family reunion we ever had." Except for no tears, he appeared to cry. This was too painful a topic for a sunny beach day. We changed the subject, but I remained haunted and awed by the importance of one family reunion, what it had meant to this young stranger. A pretty young mother and her pretty 8-year-old daughter joined us. The child painted a clay dolphin while Mom watched and visited with me. "She's an artist," Mom proudly nodded toward her daughter. "Unlike me." Mom was quite a visitor, like I am. We exchanged how we had both been homemakers and now were trying to make it in the world outside of the home. "I have to," she said. "I'm a single mom. Was abused by my ex. You can't tell it, but I'm partially blind in one eye, and my left side is numb. He never even spent any time in jail. Can you believe it? But we're doing fine, aren't we, honey girl?" She smiled at her daughter. "I am a great salesperson. That's why we're here. I won this trip. In my first year, I sold over $100,000 in advertising. That's pretty good, isn't it? Sure is, I said. You should be proud. How neat you earned this trip for the two of you. Your dolphin looks great, I added to her daughter. The child smiled at me. Thanks. I like yours. You're an artist, too. You're both good, Mom said. You know how I did it? Sold that much? Asked the mother. She was aching to tell me, and I wanted to hear. No, how? I asked. Well, they went around giving all the salespeople, the people who were their big producers, little keychains with sombreros and stuff like that to motivate them to win a trip to Mexico. Here I was, a first-year salesperson, no sales experience or anything. They never even gave me a keychain. Don't you think that's awful? Don't you think they'd give the first-year person some encouragement? I nodded, but said nothing. She was on a roll, and I didn't want to interrupt her. Well, she continued, I decided to prove to them I could do it. I didn't even need one of their dumb keychains. And I did it, 'cause here we are. Right, kiddo? She said, gently poking her daughter with her bare foot. Yep, Mom, you did it. Thanks for bringing me, the child replied, gently squeezing her mom's toe. All eyes were a bit misty. After that, the subject turned to dolphins they had petted and hugged the day before. I listened, but my mind kept smiling about how this beautiful lady who had been battered by life and husband had proved not only to her bosses, but more important to herself and daughter, that she could do it. She could provide for her family. They gave me inspiration that maybe this little homemaker could do it too. You know, everybody has a story. Heck, everybody has many stories. Those stories woven together become our lives, our joys, and our sorrows. These strangers' stories had touched my heart. All in all, it was a great day at the beach. I encourage you to think about how you can overcome painful events in your life, maybe abuse, maybe just tragedies. How do you keep going after those happen? And I also encourage you to keep those connections to extended family strong. They're very important. We don't have to just be our immediate family. Those extended family members can make a big difference in our lives. Well, that's all for Goodness Sakes by me, old Granny Anderson. Have a good one.